Hi, I'm Matt Forde. Welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show.
Welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show.
Matt Forde, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here on the Sarah O'Connell Show today. Now tell me, you've got a new upcoming show on UK TV this autumn. Can you tell me a bit about it?
Yeah, it's called Unspun, and it's our fourth series, which will start just after Christmas. And we've done 3 since this event last year. And that is testament to the chaotic world in which we're living. So I'd like to personally thank Theresa May and Donald Trump and the British public for helping get so many series made so quickly.
That's it. So as the world goes into perpetual downfall to our inevitable Armageddon, you get commissioned for more series, which is fantastic news.
Absolutely, that is the great plus side, and I'm sure the global public would agree that it's a price worth paying. That if we're all going to be consumed by an ash cloud, at least we'll all be watching Unspun when it happens.
That's it, and if someone's going to take us down, then Donald Trump, who better than, at least it's going to be a bit funny.
Well, exactly, yeah, by the way, I just want to say it's an honour to be on this show. The best internet show I've ever been on. I go on watch him all the time, all the little faces he pulls. It's that one that
I must say it's fantastic having this audience of 10 million watching this show today.
That's right. I want to pay tribute to the billion people watching around the globe. He's a vile individual, but he is great for comedy.
Absolutely. So tell me a bit about the show. Is it sort of reactionary to whatever's happened that week, or do you plan it a lot in advance?
You can't really plan it. Yeah, it's about the week's news, really, and specifically about the week's political news. We cover maybe other news stories in there if they've been big, like if there's been a FIFA thing or something like that. But it's about that week's news, so we prepare it as you would a news story. You prepare the main story, you have to have a narrative to it, and then you have to make it funny as well. So it's great, as a comedian, it's such a great challenge to have, because you're helping inform people and you're also making them laugh, and that's a really sweet spot to be in.
That's it, and I think sort of in the 80s and 90s we had spitting image sort of with these caricatures of people, but now we have real life ones. There's Donald Trump, there's Boris Johnson, and they're all larger than life and quite mad.
Well, that's it. I mean, for a long time people were saying that there were no characters in politics, and that's not the case anymore, and we can argue about whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But actually I always thought there were, even in the period when people were saying it was boring, there was still Farage and Boris and Ed Miliband, who was inherently comedic. There was George Galloway. There's always been big figures around. I think sometimes it does take seismic events for the public to tune in, and I think the EU referendum, I think partly the Scottish referendum actually, then the EU referendum, the general election, and Trump, in this sort of very condensed amount of time, we've all been through a lot together. I think that's really woken people up to how important politics is.
That's it, and I kind of like shows where you can sort of learn something, but it also is a sort of light-hearted view at it, because it's the news is quite heavy sometimes, whereas you can get your information but have a bit of fun.
Well, that's it. I think the danger at the moment actually is that the news is so bad that I think Brexit and Trump and things like that really tunes people into the news, and people are consuming news now in a way that they weren't before. But I think the danger is actually that it's so cataclysmic for a lot of people, and it's actually quite emotional and stressful for them, that people are now starting to slightly take less in, because they don't want to hear the constant drip of bad news. So I think hopefully what we can do with this show is still get people's interest in the news, still inform them in some way, but not make them cry themselves to sleep at night.
Exactly. And what kind of things make you laugh? What entertains you?
Oh, I mean, personally, given that I do impression, I love a good impression. I've always been a big fan of Rory Bremner. Anyone who can do, Luke Kempner does some really good ones. Jess Robinson is fantastic. A good impression will always get me. What else do I enjoy? I love People Just Do Nothing. Partridge is probably the best sitcom I've ever made. Only Fools and Horses. What else did I love? Top Coppers. I always forget, and then I'll get home and think, damn it, Fleabag was great.
Fleabag's amazing. I watched all of it on a plane on a flight home once. It was brilliant.
That's superb. It's a masterpiece. So there's a lot of good comedy about. Yeah.
You got a favourite impression that you like to do?
At the moment, it's Trump. Often just for the sort of body, even not just saying anything, other little things that and I've noticed a new one the other day. The kind of it is a kind of almost goldfish, and obviously the hand, and I just watch him a lot. That's my favourite. And then for years it was Ed Miliband, who I just want to say it's an honour to be on the Sarah O'Connell Show. I would do the ones where you can do the sort of face without even having to do the voice. They're the ones that and I enjoy doing Boris, of course, and all that. They're probably the 3 I enjoy the most, but Trump at the moment.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to watching the latest series of your show. Thank you very much for your time and for coming on the Sarah O'Connell Show, and to Donald Trump and Boris Johnson.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Be sure to share, subscribe, leave a comment and give the video a big thumbs up to help support the channel. And I'll see you all again very soon for another episode of the Sarah O'Connell Show. Bye.